Good evening, YouTube. What is going on today? We're going to be playing with this stuff. That guy and that one. Not going to need these. We will be using some of this. This is a little 99-cent sewing kit, which, gotta be honest, for 99 cents it came with the needles, the sewing tool, kind of a piece of garbage, but and then these different colors, a little tape, a thimble that's, big enough for like a midget. I mean, you're supposed to put them on your thumb so that, you can, anyways, you know what a thimble is, but I don't know. I don't know who, maybe my pinky thimble, I guess. Maybe this is a pinky thimble. Anyways. So, what are we going to be fixing? Well, I already actually fixed a blanket that I have over here. Kind of a hodgepodge repair, but this was torn. I just sewed that up today and almost got to the end, but I didn't quite have enough thread. There's probably a way to estimate how much thread you're going to need for a small repair, but I have not mastered it yet. But today we're actually going to be fixing my sweatpants. No, I did not get attacked by a dog. They're just kind of cheap and nasty sweatpants. And what kills me the most about these is that they're so cheap and nasty that when I was home for Christmas, my mom already fixed the other side. So I was like, I get one side fixed, and then, a few weeks later, the other side breaks. So kind of annoying. What's also annoying is that I don't know exactly where my needle thread, or sorry, my thread threader, my needle threader, God, I don't know what those things are called. But anyways, the tool that you use to put the thread through the needle, I don't know where that is. Now, I'm not incapable of doing it without the tool, but I have good eyes. But, just kind of convenient. Although this needle is the head on this needle is so small, I'm not even sure if the tool would work on this individual needle. But let's go ahead and one thing I will say, just a quick tip when y'all are doing this, get a very, very clean cut on the piece of thread, because anyone who sews will know that what happens is you typically, God, I don't know if it's going to focus on this. There. So you see that like little piece at the end? If you have a little piece of fuzz or something that's bent, it will never want to go through this, right? Another tip I could say is hold it as close to the end as possible, because the thread will want to flex. All right, tip number 3 or 4. Once you get it just a little bit through, oh, come on, baby. Don't try to push it all the way through when threading it. Just try to grab it from the other end. You probably, if you try to push it through from the one end, you might be at it for a while. Gosh, and I'm just realizing as I double this up, well, it might be not enough for the whole repair, but at least I'll get part of the repair done. By the way, this double trick is something that my mom taught me. Maybe everyone who sews knows it, but I didn't know it. Double up the thread. It's a easy way to make your repair a little bit stronger. And also, it means that you can tie the end and not have to worry about pulling the thread through the needle. So we'll just do a simple overhand knot here. By the way, I'm actually going to start doing some knot videos, but, I don't know. Watching me tie 10 knots is not, I don't consider that a very exciting video. But it might surprise you all to learn that I do know how to tie a few knots. I mean, there are only there are probably hundreds, if not thousands, of knots in the world, and I know like a dozen or a couple dozen of them, so maybe that's not very impressive. But most people don't know any knots, so let's go ahead. And I wouldn't normally have the camera like this, but since I'm trying to get this on film, so let's see what we're gonna do. start at the, and you know, I could try to stitch this from the like inside out, but just because the way this darn thing is curling, you know, I wonder. Let me just take a quick look. I mean, I don't care about the cosmetics, just want it to be easier to repair. Yeah, maybe a little easier. Okay, so let's get this back over here. All right, so I won't be able to watch what I'm doing, but that's okay. We'll get this guy on manual focus. We'll get back to it. All right, so let's start on this end. Now I do have some safety pins and such in here. I could kind of like pin it together as I go, but I'm not going to do that because it's a very short repair. All right, so we're going to start pulling this through, and we're going to tie just a little knot. Sometimes you will find that it is easier to wrap the needle around the thread than it is to try to tie the knot in the standard sense. So we'll go just 2 overhead knots. If I was aligning them right, maybe it would become like a 2 half hitch or something, but or a taut line hitch, but you know, we're not worried about that right now. Just don't want this undoing itself. All right, so let's get back to it. Get this stretched out nice and even. And it's kind of an art, and I've stitched very few things in my life, but you do want to get it somewhat close to, not too close to the edge of the material, but at least close enough. You know, and I wonder if I can like put something in here to get my trusty Harbor Freight catalog. Oh, come on. Give me a little resistance so I can push down on it. It doesn't flatten out. In fact, you know, I'm tempted to pin this darn thing. It's being just the way that it's curling is kind of annoying. Anyways, once it's repaired, I will probably not care. Now I have to admit, I don't know what the standard is as far as like tying knots, you know, securing your stitching. Because if you just stitch, you know, 5 inches and the thread gets cut, the whole thing could sort of potentially unwrap. So often what I'll do, especially on items that get used a little more often or in places on the item that get used more, you know, this being a pocket, I will use it more than like the corner of that blanket, for example. So I'll probably put in a few overhead stitches, or sorry, you know, knots as I go. Just to try to discourage, like I'll put one in right here, I'll just go under this. Just to discourage it from unstitching itself as, you know, as I go. Or as the garment's being used, rather. So rather than, you know, one long row of stitches, I have short rows of stitches that are kind of tied off, so hopefully it'll be a little more secure. Make sure we're not getting uneven here. How was your guys' week anyways? You have a good week? My week was kind of crap. I Wednesday was going to be a great day. Wednesday was the day that the dog attacked me, and I had a lot of stuff planned for Wednesday. I was going to go volunteer. I was going to pick up something. I was going to just, have like a good day and be productive. And that dog bite kind of just stressed me out and kind of screwed up my whole day. And then I went to pick up the thing I was going to pick up, and there wasn't a guy there because he was sick, and karma was just not in my favor on Wednesday. And then Thursday was okay. Not phenomenal. Been dealing with some impossibly difficult homework that, tell you, one of the most difficult things about being an engineer is being a engineering student is that you always have a right answer. Very, very seldom do we do abstract stuff. How do you feel about this? The question is always, what is the answer? Will it fail? Will it hold? Will it break? Will it balance to zero? Whatever you're trying to figure out, there's always a correct answer and there's always a wrong answer. So when we're doing homework and projects and things like that, it can be a little bit stressful in the sense that you don't really, it's not like there's no subjectivity in the grading. So you're either right or you're wrong. Now, granted, teachers give credit for work and stuff like that, but the point I'm trying to make is that this homework that I have that's very, very ugly, and in case you're wondering how ugly it is, I'll show you later, but so the problem is when I don't know how to do something, sure, I'll try to figure it out. I'll look at the book. I'll, go to YouTube, bug the teacher, whatever. But sometimes things are kind of a little advanced and you just don't find videos on them. You don't find it in books. You don't find resources. And even in this case, I am finding resources, but it's still kind of a long, complex thing. And I've come to the point in my assignment where I'm basically 100% sure I'm not going to figure this out on my own, right? It's not coming to me. It's not my specialty. What this assignment is asking us to do, this complicated derivation. And we are deriving, or supposed to derive, the conservation of mass, also known as continuity, the conservation of momentum, and the conservation of energy in 3 dimensions in 3 different coordinate systems. So Cartesian coordinates, x, y, z, spherical coordinates of r, theta, phi, and cylindrical coordinates of r, theta, z. And you just kind of get to a point sometimes where you just have to fish or cut bait, right? You have to do a certain amount of work, turn it in, and kind of, let what will be. You can't, I'm not gonna, overnight kind of teach myself this derivation. And, we talked about it a little in class, but that's, it's whatever. So the hardest part I have about this assignment is just getting past the whole idea of it's not going to be correct. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly what I want it to be. It's going to be sort of a hodgepodge of whatever I end up figuring out by the time I turn it in. And it's just kind of annoying because, I like to do stuff right. You see how there's just a little bit left on this? I probably won't even thread the needle again to take care of this, but gosh, I wish. I'm getting low on, it's getting so short I can't even tie it. We'll just keep going through again, whatever. Yeah, there's probably official ways to tie this, but we'll just pull that tight, cross our fingers. Definitely a lot better than it was, that's for sure. So, any luck? Not too bad. So here's a picture of the... Oh! So here's some video of the finished repair. So what was happening, which is really annoying, is that I would reach into my pocket, drop my keys in, they would run all the way down my pants, and I'd pull my pant legs up and my keys would fall out. And it was getting a little ridiculous, right? But anyways, there you go, YouTube. There's a 15-minute video, wow, of me repairing my sweatpants. If any of you do sewing work, needlework, if you repair clothing, if you make clothing, I'd love to see a video of it. I don't have a sewing machine right now. I do plan on buying a sewing machine. It's not super high on my list of priorities, but definitely coming in the future. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, and happy prepping.